It'd be great to now meet Sharon. Sharon's been with City Bible Forum for a number of years now. She took a year off last year, but she's joined the EPT team. So Sharon, please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Happy to. Hey, everyone. My name's Sharon. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, I am based in Melbourne, and I get to spend 3 days of my week with City Bible Forum looking after and investing in some of the women who lead prayer teams across Australia, and also to develop some local partnerships with churches here.
And what do you do for fun?
I like to paint. I like to read fiction and non-fiction for fun, as long as it's not stuff I have to read for studying.
Good stuff. And unfortunately, today Sharon is at college, and last couple of days for other people, she's been in her studio and we've been able to see some of the fruits of her painting. So you guys, I'm sorry, missed out. But Sharon, you've had a bit of a project the last few weeks. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, so we asked you guys what were some of the pain points and some of the encouragements that you've seen through your prayer teams. We're calling it a bit of a health check. And since our last meeting, we've got 21 responses. So these results are now old, but bear with us. So of the 20 responses we did get, here's sort of the spread of where we got them from. I think there's a good representation of all the cities that City Bible Forum is in. So that's awesome. And the next thing we wanted to highlight was that most of us are still meeting online, if not in a hybrid sort of way. But if your prayer team has managed to meet up in person regularly, I think a lot of groups would be very jealous about that. But yeah, I think in this new sort of working atmosphere, I think online is the way to go. The next thing that we found out was that almost half of our groups are meeting weekly. And when I left to take a study break last year, I know most of the groups in Melbourne were still meeting fortnightly or even monthly, which meant that if you missed one, that you'd have to wait a long time until the next prayer team. But a lot of our groups are now sort of moving towards a more frequent rhythm, which I think only helps with the fellowship and building community within our groups, which is cool. We did ask you guys to tick some boxes in terms of what has been encouraging. Amongst the list were options like, we've seen our group grown, we've been able to develop and grow in our understanding of what it means to be a Christian in the workplace. But one stat really stood out for me, and 85% of you tick this box, so that's encouraging, is the encouragement that your group still continues to meet despite all the disruptions, having to weather all the different things that have happened. And I think perseverance is something that marks, what is distinct in Christian character. So I think that is a very encouraging sign. Speaking of growth, as I mentioned, some of our groups have actually expanded, and I think that's because of some of the new opportunities that meeting digitally helps with. So some members who weren't able to make a physical group can now belong to one who meets online, so that's cool. Furthermore, about 55% of you said that you've grown, or your members have grown in understanding what it means to be a light in the workplace, which is really awesome. And I think some of the materials that Scott prepares for our EPTs helps with that as well. And also the number of people that are reading the Bible 101 with a non-Christian, we're still adding to that number, and we're praying for many, many more. But as I said, it has been 12 months of disruptions and difficulties. One of the biggest discouragements, I think, to prayer team leaders, even before the pandemic, I think, is lack of attendance. You put all this work in to gather people, people don't turn up, or there's last minute changes, and that can be a bit draining on our energy and our motivation. But really, some of the reasons that you see in that graph there, I think we can all relate to at some point. But it's not all doom and gloom. We did ask you to send us a prayer request, and I've collected all of the prayer requests and popped them onto this word map just to, I think, encourage us that, at the core of our focus really is to see more and more people meet Jesus, namely our colleagues. And I think just, spend a moment just looking at that collection of words. And I think we can be giving thanks to God that our focus and mission remains the same through all the uncertainties that have happened and may yet to be coming as well. But yeah, I think this is a really encouraging thing for us to see as staff, to see that you guys get why we're trying to get together. And I think we can give thanks to God for that.
Yeah, thanks, Sharon. It is really encouraging to see that praying for our colleagues is really at the heart of what we're doing, and that's reflected in our prayers.